We show up to the assignment prepared to cut line, prep structures, or charge a hose. We're likely up to the physical stress the job demands. Are we also prepared for other forms of stress? Stress is a part of life. It's not uncommon to experience stress in our home and work lives. Stress, at times, can keep us sharp and up to the task. But what really is stress? And at what point does it encroach on our quality of life, change the way we see the world, or just wear us down? Here, we'll dive into the world of stress, explore its effects, and present steps to prepare for it.
To be resilient, you have to build mental toughness. When I was going through the Navy SEAL training, there was a great mentor of mine, Navy SEAL Master Chief Will Guild, who taught me a really important mental toughness technique called segmenting. Now, segmenting is a fancy word for taking something that's really big, looks really scary, and breaking it down into really small and attackable pieces. And we saw at the hardest moment of the hardest week of the hardest military training in the world, why segmenting was so important. So what happened was we were going through Hell Week, and Hell Week is considered to be the hardest week of the hardest military training in the world. And over the course of that week, they've got you doing things like physical training on the beach with logs that weigh several hundred pounds. They have you running races with your teams in and out of the ocean. They have you running the obstacle course, running down the beach, swimming in the ocean. It's a week of intensive physical training. And the hardest moment of that week comes at the beginning of the second night. So for a lot of people, their adrenaline carries them through the first night, carries them through the next, and then we arrived at the beginning of the second night, and you're thinking to yourself, I am more tired and more exhausted and more beaten than I have ever been in my entire life. And what happened then was that the instructors brought everybody out, and they had us watch on the beach as the sun was setting. And as the sun was going down, the instructors came out, and they got on their bullhorns, and they said, say goodnight to the sun. And we're all watching the sun go down. They said, tonight is going to be the worst night of your lives. We're all watching the sun go down. And I can remember I was standing there and I saw out of the corner of my eye that something broke in the class. And people started running for the bell, running for it. And you could hear it going off ding, 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 as people quit our class. Now, what was amazing was, after all of the difficult things that they'd asked us to do in the SEAL team training, Swim 50 meters underwater, swim down 50 feet and tie a knot, tie your feet together and your hands behind your back and make you jump in the pool. Who would have thought that the hardest moment of the hardest week, of the hardest military training in the world, would come when all they had actually asked us to do was to stand on the beach and watch the sunset? But what happened then, and what happened throughout the training, was that what made people quit was when they were thinking about how hard something was going to be, how painful something was going to be, how difficult something was going to be. What Master Chief Will Guile taught us was, all you can do to be courageous is to master this moment. That's all you can do. So be strong, be focused on doing what you need to do right now. And if you build that mental habit of segmenting, and you build that kind of toughness, you'll become more resilient.
Let's say Sam shows up for an assignment. Suddenly, an unexpected event unfolds. The event is the stressor. And quickly, many of Sam's senses are heightened. The pupils dilate, sharpening Sam's vision. Blood vessels to the muscles dilate, and the heart rate increases in preparation for possible intense physical demands. Blood vessels to other areas that are less of a priority are constricted. Sam may take a moment to assess a situation, or there may be a rapid physical response. This experience is often identified as the fight or flight response. Let's say Sam does what it takes to escape a possible threat. After the event has passed, Sam is in a critical place for stress management. It's possible that Sam can quickly recover from the event. It's also possible that the event may continue to weigh on Sam. Ultimately, it'll take resilience to manage a stressful event and optimize well-being.
We all worry. And when you're worried, a lot of people will tell you, don't worry. It's usually terrible advice because you're gonna worry anyway. So now you just feel bad about the fact that you're worrying. If you care about what you're doing, you are going to worry. That's a good thing. The key is to learn to worry productively. And the way to worry productively is to engage in a practice called mental rehearsal. In mental rehearsal, you imagine things that might happen, and then you imagine how you'll react. You imagine your way through difficulty. Stoic thinkers often called this the premeditation of evils. Seneca said, everyone approaches a danger with more courage if he has prepared in advance how to confront it. Resilient people know that life is going to be hard, so they prepare themselves for hardship. Go ahead and imagine bad things that might happen. Imagine that you've misplaced your notes when you stand up to speak. Imagine that you've lost your job. Imagine that you've lost a loved one. Imagine that you're broke. Then, imagine what you'll do to make it through. A Navy SEAL Master Chief mentor of mine, Will Guile, taught us that when you are ambushed by hardship, you can easily be overcome by events. And when you're ambushed and unprepared, you often don't react well. If you're going to spend time thinking about bad things that might happen, then use that energy for a purpose. Instead of wallowing in your worries, imagine how you'll respond to them. If that happens, I could do this. When you mentally rehearse, don't imagine success falling into your lap. Imagine everything. The tingling at the back of your neck, the fear in the pit of your stomach. Your mind is built to prepare for problems. The goal of mental rehearsal isn't to fill your head with happy thoughts about the future, but to prepare yourself to succeed in the real world. The naive mind imagines effortless success. The cowardly mind imagines hardship and freezes. The resilient mind imagines hardship and prepares.